Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, completely frozen, unable to move or scream? You feel a heavy pressure on your chest, and your heart is pounding. Then, out of the corner of your eye, you see him, a tall, shadowy figure standing in the darkest corner of your room. He's featureless, a void in human form, but you can distinctly make out the shape of a wide-brimmed hat and sometimes a long coat. You are utterly terrified, not just because there's an intruder, but because you feel a wave of pure, primal dread wash over you. This isn't just a random nightmare. This is an experience shared by millions of people across the globe. They call him the Hat Man. This phenomena is one of the most perplexing and chilling mysteries of our time. What makes the Hat Man so terrifying isn't just his appearance, but his ubiquity. This isn't some local ghost story tied to a haunted house or a specific region. People from completely different cultures, who have never heard of each other, who speak different languages, and have no prior knowledge of this figure, describe the exact same entity. From a teenager in Japan to a grandmother in Brazil, the description is uncannily consistent. A tall, dark silhouette defined by his hat, just watching. This shared experience has been documented for decades, long before the internet could have connected these stories. In the age of online forums and social media, countless more have come forward, shocked to learn that they are not alone. They describe waking up in a state of sleep paralysis, a condition where your mind is awake but your body is still asleep. And in that vulnerable state, he appears. The consistency of these sightings challenges simple explanations. How can so many disconnected individuals hallucinate the same specific figure? Let's delve deeper into the experience itself. Witnesses almost universally report that the Hat Man doesn't typically interact with them physically. He doesn't attack. He doesn't speak. He just stands there, observing. His power lies in the overwhelming emotional and psychological impact he has. People describe his presence as pure evil, a feeling of impending doom so intense it feels like a physical force. It's a fear beyond the rational fear of an intruder. It's a deep, soul-level terror. He's often seen in the corner of the room, by the doorway, or at the foot of the bed. Sometimes he's not alone. Witnesses also report other smaller, formless shadow people who may scuttle around the room or even crawl onto the bed. While the Hat Man remains motionless, a silent master of ceremonies, the feeling is that he is in charge, a being of a higher, more malevolent order. The fear he instills seems to be the entire point of his visit. It's as if he's there specifically to generate and perhaps even feed on your terror. This leads us to the big question. What is the Hat Man? Science offers one potential explanation rooted in neurobiology and the nature of sleep paralysis. During sleep paralysis, the brain is in a unique state, straddling wakefulness and REM sleep. The part of our brain that recognizes threats, the amygdala, becomes hyperactive. In this state, the brain tries to make sense of the confusing signals to paralysis, the feeling of a presence, the fear. The theory goes that our brains, hardwired to recognize human forms, project a figure into the shadows of our room. The amygdala's fear response then attributes a sense of malice to this hallucination. But why a man in a hat? Some psychologists suggest it could be a deep-seated archetype, a symbolic representation of authority, judgment, or death, like the Grim Reaper. The hat serves to obscure the face, tapping into our primal fear of the unknown. Our brain fills in the blank with the most menacing thing it can conjure, a faceless observing entity. It's a shared hallucination, a glitch in our neural wiring that produces a remarkably consistent phantom. This explanation makes a lot of sense, but for many who have experienced it, it feels incomplete. It doesn't quite account for the sheer specificity of the hat and coat. It doesn't explain why some people see him without being in sleep paralysis, witnessing him while fully awake. And it certainly doesn't explain the cases where multiple people in the same room see him at the same time. These accounts push the boundaries of simple hallucination. This is where we step into the realm of the paranormal and high strangeness. Another prominent theory is that the Hat Man and his shadowy companions are not products of our minds, but are actual entities from another place. Are they interdimensional beings, travelers who can briefly phase into our reality, often when we are in altered states of consciousness like sleep? This theory suggests they are paraphysical, existing just outside our normal range of perception. Proponents of this idea believe these entities are drawn to human beings for a specific reason, to feed not on our bodies, but on our emotions, specifically strong, negative emotions like fear and dread. In this view, the Hat Man isn't just a passive observer, he's a farmer. He induces sleep paralysis and appears in his terrifying form to cultivate the most potent fear possible, which he then consumes as a form of energy or sustenance. This would explain his passive stance. He doesn't need to attack you physically when he can get what he wants just by being there. He is a psychic vampire on a cosmic scale. This theory also ties into broader ideas about shadow people. In this lore, the Hat Man is often seen as a leader or a particularly powerful type of shadow entity, while the smaller, more indistinct shadows might be lesser beings. He is something more, a being with intelligence and purpose. Some paranormal researchers even connect sightings of the Hat Man to places with high levels of negative energy, tragedy, or occult activity, suggesting he is drawn to these locations like a moth to a flame. So which theory holds more weight? Is he a trick of the mind or a traveler from another dimension? The scientific explanation is rational, testable, and doesn't require us to rewrite our understanding of reality. It places the Hat Man firmly inside our own heads. The paranormal explanation, while more speculative, arguably does a better job of incorporating all the bizarre details of the encounters. The consistency, the waking sightings, the shared experiences, and the profound feeling that the entity is real and external. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between. Could it be that our brains, in the vulnerable state of sleep paralysis, become like antennae, capable of perceiving entities that are normally invisible to us? Maybe the Hat Man is a real interdimensional being, and our brain's specific neural state is simply the key that unlocks the door for us to see him. In this scenario, it's not one or the other, it's both. The biological state enables the paranormal perception. The mystery of the Hat Man remains unsolved. He sits at the fascinating intersection of neuroscience, psychology, and the paranormal. He is a modern myth, yet for millions, he is a terrifyingly real presence. Whether he is a shadow cast by our own minds or a visitor from a darker world, he forces us to confront our deepest fears about the night, the nature of consciousness, and what might be lurking just beyond the veil of our perception. So, the next time you wake up in the dead of night and feel you are not alone, when you see a tall shadow in the corner of your room, remember you are part of a global phenomenon. You are one of millions to have met the Hat Man. What do you think he is? A figment of our collective imagination, or something far, far more sinister? Let me know your theories and your own experiences in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into the shadows as fascinating as I did, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's greatest mysteries. Stay curious and perhaps sleep with the light on.